with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
And good morning, everyone. Here we go again, another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. It is a Thursday, the 30th of January for 2025. The plate is full here today. Of course, the big news, John Cook stepping down, retiring as the head volleyball coach in Nebraska. We'll talk about that here this morning. And just minutes after the announcement, a former player, Danny Busboom Kelly, was named the new head coach of the Nebraska volleyball team. Plenty to discuss about that coming up this morning here on Huddle Up. The Nebraska men's basketball team, they're trying to shake a 6-game losing streak tonight. Well, they take on the Fighting Illini of Illinois at Pinnacle Bank Arena. The Nebraska Athletic Director Troy Dannon says the red-white game, the spring football game, is going to be no more. Plenty of discussions about that here this morning as well. Hastings College, a women's basketball team, after their 55-point win at Waldorf on Saturday, they go into Omaha last night and blow out the College of St. Mary's. NAIA basketball polls are out this morning. Plus, high school basketball as the girls' semifinal is going to be played tonight in the Central Conference Tournament and the Centennial Conference Tournament. So plenty to talk about here today on the local scene as we check in with Tyson in the Western Studios this morning. Good morning.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you could have an entire show based on one sportscast.
Yeah, can we get maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours today? I mean, the plate is full.
Good Lord. We start off, obviously, on the volleyball front, but diving into what we're going to be discussing locally, lots going on in the justice system, whether it's the Judiciary Committee over at the state capitol looking to close a loophole that was previously allowed from allowing farmers to cultivate hemp, to talking about the Chief Justice for the state of Nebraska delivering his State of the Judiciary Committee. And then we go to all the way to the courts on the national side where, yes, a case against a former Nebraska congressman has finally been solved, and we'll dive into the deets on that. So we got a lot going on the justice system side, but obviously the breaking news yesterday, and the one that really kind of makes the whole Jordan Larson move make a lot more sense, I think, is the retirement of John Cook, immediately replaced by a great hire in Danny Busboom Kelly. I think Husker fans with a little bit of relief for what should be a pretty smooth transition with a championship caliber coach in DBK, and big breaking news, 25 years at the helm, and the Cowboys going to be riding off into the sunset.
Yeah, that was interesting because John just signed a 5-year contract extension in May of 2024, which was set to run through January 31st of 2029 with an annual salary of $825,000. But just a few months into that new deal, John Cook says, I've had enough. 25 years is enough at one job. He says, I'm going to retire. He's going to take his winnings, and he's going to the ranch, so to speak.
Obviously, I think we're going to hear more as this continues to unfold and continues to progress, and we get more beat writers on the scene. But how much of it do you think was we had a window of opportunity to snag DBK before Louisville made a big re-sign effort at her, and how much of this window kind of just transpired in a very quick manner, and things unfolded the way they do?
Obviously, contracts don't mean anything.
Yeah.
So even if she would have signed a contract extension at Louisville, obviously right, they don't mean anything. John just signed one in May of 2024. So I don't know. Well, we'll see. John's going to address the media at 10 this morning.
At 10.
At 10 o'clock, so we'll probably get some more details on the decision about retiring all of a sudden at Nebraska. So we'll have more on that later on today, and we'll dive into it tomorrow on the show, what he had to say. Danny Busboom Kelly, she won't be formally introduced as the new Husker volleyball coach until February the 6th. So she won't be on hand today, but she'll have her own deal coming up in a few days on February 6th. So we'll find out more about that as the days and weeks go on here. The assistant coach for Nebraska is staying put. He's gonna be on the new staff for Danny Busboom Kelly. So that's good. And I think you're right. The transition is going to be relatively smooth. And there's not going to be much going on. I don't anticipate a big player ousting. They're not going to be moving around a whole lot. I think they'll stay put, and Husker volleyball is going to be just fine.
Well, and there was that very, very brief moment of, oh no, because we had the news from Jordan Larson yesterday, and we knew that she was going to be focusing on other things. Obviously, again, as you put the puzzle together, that makes a hell of a lot more sense. But then you see the news from John Cook, and it wasn't really immediately. I mean, in the grand scheme of coaching changes, yes, that was immediate news. But there was a brief moment of, oh no, we've lost Larson and we've lost Cook. What are we going to do? And then again, just minutes following the news of the resignation, the news that Danny Busboom Kelly would be coming on board. So it all happened relatively quick and in a lot of in a blur. But I mean, the one thing I can say to Nebraska volleyball fans, and it's become a sport that has leveled with football in terms of its support and in terms of how much passion the fans put into this program. The one thing I can tell you about DBK is everything that I've, from watching her in her start at Louisville to what she's been able to do, build that program into a national powerhouse. Nebraska's going to be just fine. Nebraska is going to be just fine, A-OK. Don't fret because Cook is leaving.
Yeah, Danny spent 8 years at Louisville, led the Cardinals to 2 NCAA championship appearances, 3 NCAA semifinal appearances, 5 regional finals, and 4 ACC titles. She is 203-44 at Louisville, including a record of 120-15 in the last 4 years.
That's
so
pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good, and she'll be just fine at Nebraska.
Just fine.
So that's one breaking story we had after we got off the air yesterday. The other one that came a few minutes after all the volleyball stuff, where Nebraska Athletic Director Troy Dannon says the Nebraska football team will conduct its final spring football practice on April the 26th, but don't expect it to be a traditional red-white spring football game format. He says the football staff will figure out what they want to do over the next few weeks, but because the reduced rosters down to 105 players now, because all the NIL deals that are going on with money and things like that, they're not going to play the traditional red-white spring game that we've been accustomed to for so many years that drew all those people into the stands during the spring to get Husker hype started for another year. Don't expect it to be a spring football game. I see more of the Pro Bowl type stuff.
Gross.
Troy Dannon also talked about having it like a kickoff for volleyball and soccer as well, that they might be incorporating some things into the day. But you can mark your calendars for April the 26th. That would be the final day of spring football practice, but don't expect to go down and watch a traditional football game. Probably going to have some soccer stuff in there and some volleyball stuff, and I expect much like maybe the Pro Bowl games, which not very exciting.
I don't get it because...
Well, I get it if I'm a player, because if I'm making $8 million, I'm not going to go out and play a spring football game and have the chances of getting hurt.
Yeah, but if I'm player 104 on a 105-man roster, and I'm playing for a spot, I need a spot on that team.
What if you're?
I want to show my coaches that I can do it in game day. That
What
I'm
happens
not just going
if-
to bring it to practice. That I'm going to be able to do it in game day.
What happens if you're a player on the outside looking in? What happens if you're player number 107?
Yep.
And now how am I going to crack the 105?
How am I going to show in-game setting with the crowd, with the hype, with the butterflies, that I'm going to be able to bring it on game day, Coach? That's why I don't like it. That, and the other reason I don't like it is You look at and I get traditions they come and go, right? But one of the great things about the spring game was that I honestly felt like the spring game was one of those that any Nebraska fan could go enjoy because ticket prices were extremely cheap.
Yeah, they're $10.
It's one that you bring those who don't often get enough to be able to enjoy stuff like that can go out and get their Husker on, be at Memorial Stadium, be at the grounds, affordable ticket prices, picnic style atmosphere. I just don't. That rubs me the wrong way in all sorts of the wrong reasons, and I totally understand from Dannon's point of view and everything that he's been talking about with the athletes, and I get why they're not doing it. But I think that's a big blow for competition. I think that's a big blow for those guys that are on the outside looking in, and that's what we always talk about. Trying to field the best 105-man roster. And I don't think you get that great of a look without seeing it in game form with the stands, with the pageantry, with the fans, with the noise, with the music. Who can bring it on game day? I don't give a damn who brings it on practice every day. And what you're seeing on the practice field when you're going whistle to whistle. I want to see it in game day. And this does not give you that ability. And to me, that's a shame. And it's a shame that those who loved the spring game, hell, my dad and I, we made it an annual point to try to head down to the spring game. That was our father-son bonding time. And we got our first look at the Huskers and a look at who could be up and coming. And there's a lot of good memories that are going to be going by the wayside.
All right, so there's a lot of things that you can chime in with here this morning. You can leave us a message on one of the social media sites. We're monitoring all those. If you'd like to give us a call, we'd love to chat with you. 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330. Want to talk about John Cook? You want to talk about Danny Busboom Kelly taking over the program? You want to talk about the spring football game, which is going to be a no more. Lots of topics to talk about here today, so chime in with your thoughts. If it's sports related or not, there's a lot going on in the world these days. So anything else that is on your mind these days, give us a call. We'd love to chat with you here on Huddle Up. That's what we're all about here.
Mm-hmm. And coming up, we're just scratching the surface on the Huskers. Well, a little bit later, we'll be talking Nebraska basketball. Can they get the monkey off the back, so to speak? Can they get rid of this 6-game losing skid and wash the taste of losing out of the mouth? Fred Hoiberg will address that and their game plan moving forward for tonight's big matchup. So still lots to get to on the Big Red front as we continue to roll along.
Illinois. Nebraska is 6-16 against Illinois since joining the Big Ten Conference. Illinois has won 9 straight meetings dating back to the 2018-2019 season. So a hill to climb tonight for a struggling Nebraska basketball team. And the coach basically said yesterday, and you'll hear it coming up, that it's basically do or die time for the Nebraska men as they've lost 6 games in a row. Just 23 days ago, we were 12-2, and being projected as the number 5 seed in the regional for the NCAA basketball tournament. 23 days later, we're on a 6-game losing streak and not being mentioned at all for the big dance.
12-8. Interestingly enough, and I'm kind of surprised by this, Vegas just has us as a 4-point dog.
Well, we're at home.
Just a 4. Well, I get that, but it's the 19th ranked team in the country.
Yeah, but remember, Nebraska had a 20-game winning streak at home. Had before we lost to Rutgers.
Prior to that. Yeah, somewhere in that line, right? Whether it was the first home loss to Rutgers or whether it was the squabbling your 15-point lead and losing to Iowa in overtime down the stretch, your rival, that's where the wheels fell off the bus.
What's the spread tonight, 4?
Yeah, 4-point spread.
Oh, that looks too easy. That looks too easy.
For Illinois, right?
Illinois is favored by 4?
Illinois is favored by 4.
Yeah, with Nebraska playing at home.
And you'd think that if you're the logical Vegas person that,
you're going to bet Illinois.
Trap game.
Trap game.
Huskers win?
Huskers win tonight.
Question mark.
Huskers win tonight. You heard it first right here.
There you
7:15 on Huddle Up with two guys that know absolutely nothing.
But just I gave you a line, and you're like, ooh, that sounds like a trap game.
That looks like a trap game.
Huskers are going to win. I don't give a dang what Fred Hoiberg's going to talk about here in the next 15 minutes, but
Woe is
that's
me.
a trap game.
Woe is me.
Ooh.
Let's see, a couple other things. You heard it in the news. This is a sports show, so we won't dive too much into this. We'll let the news people handle it. But U.S. figure skaters, their coaches and family members were passengers on that American Airlines jet that collided with an Army helicopter near the Reagan National Airport in Washington, D.C. yesterday. It crashed to the Potomac River. The figure skaters were returning from a development camp that was followed by the U.S. Figure Skating Championships down in Wichita, Kansas. The flight carried 60 passengers and 4 crew members. Airplane collided with a helicopter while attempting to land, prompting a large search and rescue operation in the Potomac River. So if you're just waking up, that's what happened overnight. Again, this is basically a sports talk show, so we won't dive too much into that, but I wanted to let you know about that, and then the national folks will handle that throughout the day today. So our thoughts and prayers are with everybody involved with that in Washington, D.C. here today.
Absolutely, yeah.
Couple of coaching notes again. Seems like this is the time of the year for all this stuff, huh?
Yeah.
New York Jets head coach Aaron Glenn has made his first significant hire for the new coaching staff. I know there's some Jets fans with us here today. Let's see. It's going to be Steve Wilkes. He's going to be their defensive coordinator. He's 55. He was out of football in 2024 after serving for a campaign with the San Francisco 49ers. He was fired in February of 2024. He spent 1 year with the 49ers. He was fired just a few days after the Niners lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So, yeah, New York Jets fans, there you go. Your first hire, you get a defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes, that no one is too familiar with.
There you go. And I was reading yesterday is that Mike McCarthy is basically saying he's going to take a year off.
Yep.
Yep.
He'll be in a 2026 coaching cycle.
I'm going to take a year off, reevaluate things, and go back to the drawing board, so to speak, and trying to put together a coaching play, a blue board. From everything that I understand, it sounds like this last coaching vacancy is probably going to go to Kellen Moore. He hasn't denied anything about wanting to be a head coach. He hasn't come out and says, no, I'm an Eagles OC. So it sounds a lot more like Kellen Moore is probably going to land in that vacancy. I don't see any other names that are circulating or.
Well, it's just the timing of the whole deal.
Yeah.
The job is still open.
He's got
and there's only one game left, so it's either a member of the Kansas City Chiefs coaching staff or a member of the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff. Right after the Super Bowl, they'll name that. Yeah. Maybe a week from Monday after the Super Bowl.
Surprised. Yeah, congratulations. Here's the Lombardi Trophy. Now go coach this miserable team.
The Las Vegas Raiders are keeping Patrick Graham as their defensive coordinator. He's been with the franchise since 2022. He's been part of a couple of head coaches in Josh McDaniels and Antonio Pierce. So he stays on as the Las Vegas Raiders defensive coordinator. Patrick Graham, before joining Vegas, he was the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins and the Giants.
Sounds like he's had an excellent career of defensive juggernauts. Dolphins,
well, it's not
Giants,
like
Raiders.
It's not like the Raiders had a great defense.
No.
They had some injuries on the defense, but so does everybody.
I think he probably could have just cleared that entire house and started over if he were Vegas. But
yeah, Graham is staying put.
They're going after. Again, that team perplexes me because going after Pete Carroll, hoping that he can dive into the fountain of youth and find a way to make that team successful. I don't understand the hire. I'm still scratching my head at it.
Wave the wand, his magic wand. Maybe you can get some magic in Vegas.
There you go.
It's a gambling community. That was a big gamble.
Good point.
That was a big gamble getting a Pete Carroll in there. Super Bowl coming up. Fox has sold out all their ads.
Oh, good.
At least 10 commercials that air during the Super Bowl will cost $8 million. Around 123.7 million people watched the Super Bowl last year, according to Nielsen. More than 115 million people watched in 2023, the last time the Super Bowl aired on Fox. Among the companies you'll be seeing a lot of in the Super Bowl this year, Anheuser-Busch,
Sure.
Meta,
Why?
PepsiCo, Frito-Lay, Taco Bell, and Uber Eats. I wish we had a dependable Taco Bell around here.
I don't even know when they're open half the time.
Yeah, I've been out there 3 times in a row, and the dining room has been closed.
That's neat.
I just shake my head and say a few things when I leave and go somewhere else.
You know what, though? Your system will thank you.
I like Taco Bell. And it's funny, the Taco Bell in Hastings can't get it figured out, but you drive 20 miles north, 25 miles north, the Taco Bell in Grand Island is just fine.
They're bursting at the seams.
Yeah.
People going out all the way onto that horribly designed offshoot road that they've got out there.
Who cares? You can still eat a taco.
Yeah, but you can't get into the damn parking lot.
Well, in Hastings, you can get into the parking lot. You can't get into the store.
Yeah, so
Can't get into the damn restaurant.
good problem to have. I don't know. I like Taco Bell, and I have a love-hate relationship with Taco Bell. I love it in the moment. I hate it like 8 hours later.
Why? What's your problem?
Digestive issues.
Really?
We'll
Do
go
you have that with other Mexican establishments or
Not
just Taco
really.
Bell?
Just pretty much Taco Bell.
So it must be in their meat.
Yeah.
I love their meat.
Yep, digestive issues.
I just can't eat Taco Bell enough because they're never open.
Maybe that's why you haven't developed the digestive issues. To be fair, where my apartment was located when I was living in Grand Island all those 1 year ago, it was just across the street, basically. You went down, you made a little turn onto this Deers Road, which
I know
bobs and
Deers
weaves and winds. Yeah, it's kind of it's a funky road that they put together. But you bob and weave and wind, and you go to Taco Bell. I mean, I was there in 2 minutes. So if I got really hungry and I didn't want to cook that day, well, Taco Bell is just right around the corner. Because you can't get into the damn Dairy Queen either. The Grand Island fast food restaurants are
Bad
doing
road design or what?
very well. No, they're just busy. They're busy, and I'm not waiting 20 minutes in the drive-thru.
Yeah, I don't go through the drive-through.
You don't
Can't
drive
stand
through?
the drive-through.
Really?
If I wanted to eat in my car, no, I'm not going out to eat and eating in my car.
What if you go out to eat and then go back home because you're 2 minutes away from these fast food restaurants?
Well, I can see your point there. You're 2 minutes away.
I'm 2 minutes away, but
I'm not
going
gonna
to
take
20 minutes.
I'm not going to take my tacos and drive back home.
That's fair.
If I go out to eat, I want to go out to eat.
Good point, I guess. What if you're like coming back from a game and you just want to grab something?
Well, then I do.
Yeah.
I go through the drive-through and
Gotcha.
I eat it on the way. I did that last night
Yeah.
when I was in Omaha.
How'd that work out for you? Did you need
I
that
didn't go
stick?
through the drive-through though. I went inside and got to go, and then I came back out. I hate going to a drive-through.
This is when I learned the valuable lesson of the Tide Stick from you. The valuable lesson of the Tide Stick, especially when we're
you
on
ever
our
try
way
to-
to a game.
No, you ever try to eat a quarter pounder with cheese going down the road and not getting a pickle that might drop out of your sandwich onto your new shirt you're wearing for the night?
Which is always white.
And why does McDonald's, as long as we're on the subject of restaurants, why does McDonald's put so damn much tartar sauce in a fish sandwich?
Why do you order a fish sandwich from McDonald's?
Because I like the filet of fish.
Yeah, your first problem.
I like filet of fish, but why do they put gobs and gobs of tartar sauce? I like tartar sauce, but every time I bite into a filet of fish, tartar sauce comes oozing out all over the place.
Ew.
That's more of a problem than a pickle or an onion falling out of your quarter pounder with cheese. It's the tartar sauce that oozes out of my filet of fish all the time.
Because that'll get on like a red, black, or blue shirt. So
Yeah, and then you
you're
got-
really in trouble.
It's a mess trying to drive down the road with a fillet of fish.
So what have we learned? Don't order a fillet of fish when you're going to a game.
And don't anticipate going into the Taco Bell in Hastings and sitting down inside.
We covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, maybe somebody
Fast
will.
food restaurant you're burning on?
I'm sorry that I'm burning on Taco Bell today because I really like Taco Bell. I just wish I could eat there more often. I don't know what the problem is in Hastings.
And I know
Maybe somebody can chime in on that. We got a lot of things that people could chime in today. We're talking John Cook. We're talking Danny Busboom Kelly. We're talking about the spring football game that's going to be no more. We're talking about the restaurants that can't seem to serve their customers. And we're talking about messy sandwiches when you're trying to go through the drive-thru.
So one thing I know you won't do, and one thing that's really helped me with Taco Bell, especially when I get like the late-night munchies, I know you don't app. I know you don't DoorDash.
Oh, no, I never do that.
Which Taco Bell actually has a decent DoorDash service.
Maybe.
Decent. But you're also paying $20 more for your food.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Which is kind of an annoyance.
I'm not going to do that.
Bring down your fees, and I would use your product more.
Just be open. I'd just be happy just to be open.
It's so far out there.
Well, I'm out there quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
I'm up to the north end of town quite a bit. So,
I'm
open your damn restaurant. Open your damn lobby so I can come in and eat.
Give me some damn chicken wings. Run the damn
Just
ball.
give me some
Open
damn
your
chicken
restaurant.
wings, will you?
Oh, another phrase for the shirts. Open your damn restaurant.
Maybe we'll get that on there. Have another button. Just open your damn restaurant. Open your damn lobby so I can eat.
When driving down the road.
God, time's slipping away. I got so much to talk about today, and it's already halfway through the show.
Should we do a news break?
Call the bookkeeper and see if we can go on overtime today.
You can do that.
7:27 here. You're waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
News this hour brought to you by the Hastings Federal Credit Union, where they've been at the heart of the community since 1946. And community, well, it's at the heart of everything they do. As a nonprofit financial cooperative, the credit union is owned by the members who join. And joining, well, it's as simple as opening a primary savings account. And with a convenient drive-up 24-hour ATM and a friendly staff that knows each member by name, why would you go anywhere else? Hastings Federal Credit Union, 707 North Marion Road, or online, hastingsfcu.org. Hastings Federal Credit Union is an equal housing lender. We're going to talk a lot about the justice system today because we start off at the state capitol where Delta 8s were the subject of a hearing in the legislature's Judiciary Committee yesterday as Senator Kathleen Kauth introduced LB 316, a bill to ban Delta 8 and similar products. It is a bill that's intended to close the loophole from previous legislation allowing Nebraska farmers to cultivate hemp. The Delta products are said to be masquerading as hemp, and the bill will, quote, clean up the illegal marketplace that has developed. No action was taken in the Judiciary Committee yesterday on the measure. Speaking of the Judiciary, Chief Justice Jeffrey Funke presented the 2025 State of the Judiciary address earlier this week in the legislative chambers. In his speech, Funke highlighted the strong partnership between the judiciary and the legislature, particularly in areas such as probation, post-release supervision, problem-solving courts, and public guardianships. He credited these collaborations with enhancing the state's justice system and improving outcomes for Nebraskans. Looking ahead, he urged lawmakers to continue supporting critical initiatives, including expanding problem-solving courts, strengthening juvenile probation programs, and addressing challenges that are related to behavioral health treatment. And staying in the courts, if you've got faith in the justice system, the Department of Justice has moved to dismiss the case against former Nebraska Congressman Jeff Fortenberry. Fortenberry resigned from his post in the U.S. House after he was found guilty of lying to the FBI about illegal campaign contributions. Court documents show the Department of Justice's unopposed motion to dismiss the indictment, which will permanently close the case. Of course, this all coming following a successful effort for a continuance in hopes of getting a more favorable result with the new Trump administration taking over at the White House.
How much money did he have to pay to get that?
I've got a few thoughts on that. 7:30 Mike, we'll go back to you.
The Nebraska men's basketball team will try to snap a 6-game losing streak tonight when they play host to Illinois at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Huskers are 12-8 in the season, 2-7 in the conference. The Fighting Illini 14-6. They're 6-4 in conference play. Tip-off tonight will be at 7:30. The Nebraska women also in action tonight. They'll play at Purdue. Tip-off of the game will be at 6. Coming off of a 55-point win on Saturday at Waldorf, Hastings College women's basketball team went into Omaha last night and beat the College of St. Mary's 95-53. The Broncos got out of the gates early. They led 30-9 at the end of the first quarter. Macy Bryant led the way with 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals. Mariah Avila had 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 steals. Rachel Gooden had 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. Hastings is now 15-6 on the season. They're 10-5 in the conference. They'll play number 1 ranked Dordt coming up on Saturday at Lynn Farrell Arena. Hastings College baseball team opened the season yesterday. They dropped a doubleheader to Ottawa, 8-1 and 6-5 down in Kansas. Same 2 teams will play again today. 3 teams from the Great Plains Athletic Conference ranked in the latest NAIA Women's Basketball Coaches Poll. Dordt is number 1. Briar Cliff is 5th. Dakota Wesleyan is 16th. Hastings and Northwestern are receiving votes. Dordt was pushed last night. They were on the road playing in Sioux City against Morningside. The game went into overtime before Dordt beats Morningside by a score of 77-70. Freed Hartman out of Tennessee is ranked number 1 in the NAIA men's basketball poll. Dordt is number 8. Concordia is 13th, and Northwestern is 16th. So the Hastings College women will play the nation's number 1 ranked team on Saturday, and the Hastings College men will face the 8th ranked team. So a good doubleheader on Saturday afternoon at Lynn Farrell Arena. The girls' semifinals of the Central Conference basketball tournament going to be played tonight at Adams Central. York will play Crete in the first game at 5:30, followed by Northwest against Seward at 7:30. The girls' semifinals will also be played tonight in the Centennial Conference Tournament. St. Cecilia will play at top-seeded Lincoln Christian, and Bishop Newman is at Scotus Central Catholic. The boys' semifinals in each tournament are scheduled for tomorrow. That's a check in the sports headline. 7:32 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Rain in the forecast for this Thursday, but will it amount to much at all? Hey everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Weather TV. 47 will be the high today. Better chances, unfortunately, for rain, and beneficial rain will be well to our south and east. If we get 1/10 of an inch today, we'll be lucky. Overnight tonight, we'll dip into the upper 20s with a chance of a little wintry mix. That won't amount to much either. Sunny and 54 on Friday, and 50s into the weekend.
Right now, south winds at 4 miles per hour. It's 36 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Vollen Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Rollins Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Extreme Sports has been bringing you the exclusive home of Hastings College Athletics, and we're just getting started. Thanks to our incredible sponsors and your support, Extreme Sports 2 has been a huge success, and now we're excited to announce the launch of Extreme Sports 3. With Extreme Sports 3, you'll get even more local sports coverage. Plus, 24/7 access to Sports by Line, where you'll hear the best in national sports talk. Whether it's Hastings College, high school action, or the latest from around the sports world, we've got it covered across all 3 streams. And don't forget, when we're not broadcasting games, join us weekday mornings from 7 to 8 a.m. for Huddle Up with Mike Will and Tyson Havronik. It's the perfect way to start your day with sports, news, weather, and great local interviews. So tune in, check out all 3 streams, and stay with us for even more sports coverage coming soon. Thank you to our sponsors for making it all possible, and to you, our listeners, for keeping Extreme Sports strong.
All right, Mike Will and Tyson Havronik, you're waking up with Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Thursday, the 30th of January for 2025. Thanks for starting your day with us here. Kind of at the breakfast table. We're just kind of discussing everything that's going on in the sports and news biz here this morning. Somebody asked me the other day, who's going to be performing at halftime of the Super Bowl this year? So today I pulled it up, and you're going to have to help me.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar.
Yep.
He's a rapper, isn't he?
Rap/pop, yeah.
Hip-hop type of guy?
Hip-hop, yep. Yep, he's...
You know anything about this guy?
When Matt Rule first took over, one of the first things he did was, I think he was performing at the PBA, and he got all the Husker players tickets to go to the show. And,
that's the guy. That's the guy that was at the PBA?
Yep.
Really?
Kendrick Lamar. So, yep, he's popular. Consistently in the top 10 with some of his music. I don't listen to any of it because...
I was going to say, can you name one song that's a hit?
Oh, God. On the fly, no. If I had some time to think about it, maybe.
Somebody might know. Somebody can chime in with a hit from Kendrick Lamar. Evidently, he performed at a Super Bowl in the past. Number 56, they say, out in Inglewood, California. He was
cameo.
He was a co-headliner with Snoop and 50 Cent.
Mm-hmm.
Are these people
Kendrick
you know?
Lamar.
Dr. somebody.
He has got hits, including Luther with SZA. He has TV Off, Squabble Up, Not Like Us, All the Stars, 30 for 30. Yeah, no, I don't know. The one thing I do know, I think Kendrick Lamar collaborated with a rock group that I do know in a pretty decent song. And now, for the life of me, I can't think of that song.
So get a beer and go to the food line during halftime is what you're saying?
The kids will love it. This will be our drink break.
What do you mean, kids? How young do you have to be in with Kendrick Lamar? Like college-age kids?
Under 30.
Under 30 group?
Under 30. We've also been hitting up the fast food discussion and the what else discussion have we hit up? The mentioned the app and DoorDash. Williams is like me. Me and EW agree on this one. Said, last time I used DoorDash, the driver was mad because of his tip. I told him to talk to their company because they need to get some of that fee on the company charges to come down. If you're going to tip a delivery driver, you can't have like $8 in extra fees for using the app. You eliminate some of those fees, maybe I might leave a bigger tip.
Yeah, so you buy a DoorDash, you buy the food, then you got the fee that goes along with that, and now the driver is bitching because his tip ain't big enough. Hell, you buy a lunch, it's going to cost you $100.
Hmm?
It costs you $100, but that's why I never use that. If I'm lazy and can't get my butt in the car and drive down to the restaurant and get something to eat, I don't need anybody delivering food to me.
Right.
Only because the price, number one. I'm not going to pay for all that.
The price is the biggest thing, but God, the convenience factor.
I know it is.
You just don't have to get up off the couch. You're watching NFL on a Sunday.
God.
You spend 7 hours watching football, and then it's time for the primetime game.
Get your
you get
butt.
a little bit hungry, and then you go to the fridge, and you're like, oh, crap, I don't have anything, but I don't want to miss any of the action.
Get your butt off of the couch and go get something. Unless you're going to Taco Bell and the lobby's not open.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I mean, the convenience factor, they throw this in. I can't afford these charges.
That pisses me off.
It's too much.
Pisses me off when the lobby ain't open. What's Shane talking about? Not Like Us? Is that the name of a Lamar?
Kendrick Lamar song. Yep.
Is it Kendrick Lamar?
And he only knows that because he heard it on the way back from volleyball with KK, Jake, and Lexi.
I can see Lexi liking that.
Some name drops there.
Yeah, I can see Lexi liking Kendrick Lamar.
Are they 30 and under?
Shane has also chimed in with my fast food woes. Driving down the road after a game, he says,
No.
Get the Crunch Wrap.
Nope.
From Taco Bell.
Not if I'm going to the game.
No, I'm coming home from a game.
Okay, from home.
He tells me to get me a Crunch Wrap from Taco Bell. What the hell is a Crunch Wrap? I've never had one.
No, that's a good question.
I'd go out today at noon and maybe try it out, but they'll probably not open.
Crunch Wrap.
Go through the drive-thru, which I don't
Is that
do
like
either.
a fancy name for a Crispito?
I don't know, Crunch Wrap. Anyway, I'm looking excited for Kendrick Lamar for the Super Bowl halftime show.
I'm excited for my beer break.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be in
Beer
front of the
break,
tube
smoke
watching
break,
that.
use the restroom.
Get ready for the second half when the Chiefs have got the lead over Philadelphia. We got more problems at home with the Nebraska men's basketball team. Huskers trying to break a 6-game losing streak tonight. They've got a tough task against Illinois, although the Fighting Illini are only favored by 4 points tonight over the Huskers.
That's correct.
We met up with Fred Hoiberg yesterday. He says this Illinois team will present a lot of challenges for his team.
First of all, they play with a lot of pace. We're going to have to do a good job getting back in transition. They really share it. They do a good job, creating threes. Jakob Jonas is unbelievably impressive at the point guard position for his age, assist-to-turnover ratio. He's a wizard in ball screens. So, we're going to have to do a good job, trying to not only contest shots but contest passes by rotations time and close out with urgency, which we obviously did not do a great job of that early in the game the other day. And, it's funny how this game works and, the basketball gods work. We're down 19-2. Burke dives on the floor, first to floor, that makes a great hustle play, and then the next thing you know, we're on a 19-4 run. So, we just have to make a play like that early, to set the tone and hopefully, get the advantage with the 50-50 game. The other thing with Illinois is they are relentless on the glass. They had 21 offensive rebounds in their last game against Northwestern's. They had 15 at Michigan State, which is damn near impossible to do with that team and their physicality. They lead the nation in rebound margin, and they crash everybody. So it's not just, they don't send anybody back. They all 5 crash, and if we don't make contact and play physical, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, the Huskers, again, a 6-game losing streak, and the coach says they basically lost their identity on defense.
23 days ago, we were 12-2. We were 2-1 in league. We had the 9th-ranked defense in the country, and, I think we were projected 5 seed. I mean, we were doing a lot of really good things. We've lost our identity. Our identity was a gritty, dirty, ugly, just grinded out type of team. And, right now we're not getting those stops, and it affects the ball going the other way. When we got stops, we got 11 in a row at one point in that Wisconsin game the other day. And you saw what that did to our offense. We're not great when we have to take the ball out of the net. So if we can string stops together like we were doing earlier in the season, that's going to be our chance. It's going to be our only chance. We've had a lot of very long, real discussions with our group these last couple days, and I hope it carries over. We can't have a here we go again mentality, and I've seen that when the ball isn't going in the basket, when teams are hitting shots, whatever they are, semi-contested, contested, heads drop, and we just are not worth a damn when that happens. So we got to find a way to battle through these tough times, through adversity. We found a group that got it going. Unfortunately, Raleigh picked up his second foul when we were on that run, and Sam, couldn't even breathe. So, had to make a couple subs, and you hope your guys go back in and build off what the bench guys did, or whatever group was in there, what they did, but we didn't. That thing flipped right back. Our energy dropped, and we never got it back. So, when we're doing things well, we got to continue on with those things. There's a formula, and when it's working, we're a pretty good team.
And the coach says that we need a win to restore our players' confidence.
We got to get a win. We have to get a win to get our guys some confidence, and to get out of that mentality of, here we go again. But, it's, again, when things are going well, I kind of see us right here. When things are going good, we go here. When things aren't, we go like that. And you have to be here regardless of the circumstance of what's going on the floor. And, I hate even saying this because I know it doesn't matter, but in practice we're pretty damn good, but when the lights turn on and when the adversity hits, for whatever reason, we lose that. We kind of get that blank look on our face, and we got to get out of that. If we have any chance of winning, any chance of making a run, we got to get out of that mentality. The other thing I look at, and again, you try to do everything you can to talk to your group about, the sky it's crumbling, but it's not falling all the way down. I mean, I look at our team 2 years ago, Bandamel and Jawan go down, we're 3-9 in league. And all of a sudden, we flip it, and we go 6-2, had the best record in the Big Ten in February with a depleted roster, but we fought, man. We fought every day. So we can turn this thing around, but I'm sick of saying it. It's like I'm beating a dead horse in that room saying, all right, there's time, there's chances, but we're running out of them. We're running out of time. So, we got to get this thing going. And, what we did in this building a year ago was special. And we got to get that back. And then we get to go on an extended road trip, which I think will be good for this group to be able to spend quality time together, similar to our tournament in Hawaii when we were playing some of our best basketball of the season. But it's all about tomorrow, man. I mean, we took our board down. We had standings in there. We have Nebraska and Illinois, and that's it. And these games have to be our Super Bowl, for the rest of the year. One game at a time if we want to get out of this. I know it's the oldest cliche in a book, but that's where we are right now.
Huskers and Illinois tonight, 7:30 starting time, PBA. I think the Huskers going to win tonight. I think they pull off the upset. Nebraska breaks their 6-game losing streak tonight, and they beat Illinois at home tonight.
There's a lot going against us, in this matchup. And one is the Fighting Illini, and he mentioned it, on the glass. They lead all of Division I in the rebounding category. An outstanding average of 42 rebounds per game, led by, get this, 7'1" center, Tomislav Ivsik. He is the team's second leading scorer and averaging 13 points a game, averaging 8.5 rebounds per game. His status, however, is unknown. He was out 2 straight games with mononucleosis.
Yeah.
His status for tonight unknown, but they've got, if in and healthy and playing, a 7'1" guard.
Wow.
Not guard, 7'1" center.
Post player,
that we have to guard.
7'1". Well, that means we should crank up the pace a little bit, get the tempo in our favor, and that 7'1" guy, he's not going to be part of the game. You got to make shots, though.
Yep.
Got to make shots to do it.
You know, Hoiberg also, in a roundabout way, hammered home a point that I was trying to make earlier about the spring game. He said, we practice really damn well. That's great. Can you do it in a game scenario? Can you do it in-game?
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier with the
Nebraska. I was talking
Nebraska.
about that in the spring game. If we're cutting down a roster and limiting it to 105 guys, I want the guys that are going to bring it on game day. I don't care how well they look in practice at half speed, whistle to whistle. I want to see you bring it in game, which is why I am wholeheartedly, despite the nil deals, despite the new regulations from the NCAA. And I understand everything he said, but I dismiss it because I don't believe it brings out the best competition.
Call him up today.
Yeah, let's see if he's got time for me.
Troy Daniel.
Hey.
Absolutely. This is Tyson out in Hastings. I got a bitch. I want to air with you.
One good note from Dannon. I did see this pop across, and I don't believe we've really addressed it yet. Did you see what he did for Greg Sharp yesterday?
I saw that.
Yep. Named the radio booth after him. Named the
Memorial
radio booth
Stadium,
after Greg Sharp, who
Big
is
battling cancer right now.
battling cancer. Yep, and all hearts and minds are with Sharp. And yesterday a dedication ceremony for him, as the radio booth will be forever named after Greg Sharp. So that's some good news. But yeah, then you follow that up with the elimination of the red-white spring game. And
would you push for that when I finally call her quits?
Lloyd Wilson Field? Hell
get
yeah.
me a radio booth named after me.
I think that that should be pretty self-explanatory for Lloyd Wilson Field.
I'll talk to the powers to be and see if I can get that pushed through.
I think it should already be.
God.
You might as well have the plaque already in that radio. But nobody else. Everybody knows. God, when I was working for the competition, I'd come up there and I'd be like, "Well, that's Mike's spot, so I know not to go in there."
Yeah, don't sit in my damn booth.
I didn't even know if you were going to show up to the game. I didn't, whether you were at.
Nobody wants to sit in it.
Lloyd Wilson, I wasn't going to go in there. I'm like, that's Mike's booth.
Okay.
I know better.
All right, we've touched on a lot of stuff here today. Lots of people in the room with us today. Still got time to chime in on all of our social media sites. If you want to give us a call, 402-834-1330 is our telephone number, 402-834-1330. By the way, like our page on Facebook. We're getting damn close to 1,000 followers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people following our page.
A lot of people in a short amount of time.
Yeah, we want to go over 1,000, so we're getting real close. So make sure, if you haven't done so, like our Facebook page. That's where you're going to get our latest information on all the developments here on Extreme Sports, whether our broadcast schedule or new things that we got going. Did you see the IT guy? He sent us an email last night. Evidently, we're on a new server now. I know nothing about this stuff. That's why I just give him all the leeway.
Correct.
We're on a new server for our video feeds now. It's the same server that the folks at ESPN use.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we're using the same type of server that ESPN uses to enhance our video quality. So, yeah, I read that last night too on the way home.
I did, and I'm with you. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a technician. I'm just a guy with a voice and an opinion, and can carry on a conversation during the course of 4 quarters of football or 9 innings of baseball, what have you. Like, that's my skill set. I'm kind of the guy that you have to label everything on my board so I know where to plug it in and make it go and make it work. And so I see these messages and I'm like, that's really cool. But I can't talk tech with you. I can't talk nerdy. Like,
no, you ever try to talk to a computer guy?
I just give you a thumbs up. I'm like, cool. That's sweet.
Yeah. Like when you call in and you got problems with your Dish network or something.
Uh-huh.
And they're talking this computer geek stuff. No, you can't talk to a computer geek.
No.
In order for you to get something solved, a computer geek has to talk to another computer geek. They have like a different language.
Hmm?
They're like they're talking a different language than you're trying to communicate with.
Right. Now, they will always ask me, whenever I called IT at any point, they're like, well, have you tried turning it off and turning it on again?
Yeah, that's the first thing. Turn it off and turn it back on. And that'll solve the problem 75% of the time.
I was going to say 80. 80% of the time, that solves my issues. I'm like, oh, well, that's all I needed to do, huh?
It'll work.
Turn it off, turn it on again. But then once it gets beyond turn it off, turn it on again, that's when we get into the lingo that I don't understand. That's when we get into the scientific stuff. And I'm like, can you just hack into my computer and just do it remotely?
Yeah, IT guy can do that usually.
Yep.
Just get into my computer and just do it. I know what I want to do, but I can't get there. Or I'm not smart enough to get there. He did it yesterday. IT
He was doing
guy
it
did.
this morning when I woke
Was he?
up. Yeah, he was in the one of my computers, and I'm like, all right.
All right,
That's
something
cool.
must be wrong.
I'll just trust that it's gonna work.
All right, 7:55.
Wow, rolling.
We had a late news break, so do we need another news break or not? We just kind of hashed over everything that we've been talking about.
I think we've kind of addressed it, right? I mean, the Judiciary Committee continuing to work to close the loophole on the hemp law. We've got Jeff Fortenberry getting off unscathed.
Oh, he had to pay somebody off on that.
Pretty penny, had to be.
That
Pretty
thing's been going on for years, hasn't it?
But that's just the thing. I mean,
all of a sudden we get a new president.
Yeah.
It happens to be the same party as he is, and all of a sudden they drop the charges.
How high profile cases like that can get drug on for 2 years to the point where an administration change happens, and then you just get your hands washed and you get to walk away scot-free.
Yeah, nothing. Case closed. Case closed. How ironic that is.
The important thing is, if you're going to commit crimes, make sure you have a bunch of money.
Or you're the same party as
Or
the
you're the
leader.
same party as the justice system.
We've got this figured out. It doesn't take much to
No.
pull the wool over our eyes.
No, and I was reading some of the articles that were wrote on it, and I'm like, let me simplify this. Let me simplify this. They continued this to get a new administration change. That's what happened.
Yeah, the new administration comes in. 2 weeks later, Fortenberry's in the clear.
I'm not gonna dance around the obvious.
Hell, he'll probably run for office again.
Probably win.
Oh, yeah, because we're a Republican state.
Yep.
And people that's going to the ballot box in this state, and anything that's got an R beside it, you're in.
R.
They don't know who these candidates are. I'm just going to go in the ballot box, and everybody's got an R beside their name. They got to be good.
And R's red and go big red and
Yep.
Huskers.
Yeah, go big red.
Check.
Yeah, check. That didn't take long. I'm out of the ballot booth in 15 seconds. They don't know who the hell they're voting for.
Love it.
Is that the only thing you got going in news?
That's pretty much it. We dived into the justice system pretty hard today.
Yeah, we know that John Cook is leaving.
Yep.
Danny Busboom Kelly is going to be the new coach. Men's basketball team going to play Illinois tonight. Big game. Women playing on the road at Purdue tonight. Tip off at 6. Troy Dannon says no more spring football game. They don't know what they're going to do, but it's not going to be a spring football game. Hastings College women picking up another big win in Omaha last night over the College of St. Mary's. They'll play the nation's #1 ranked team coming up on the Saturday.
And the first sure sign of spring baseball getting underway on the
Yeah,
college
Hastings
side.
College played a couple of games yesterday down in Kansas, taking advantage of the nice weather. They lost to Ottawa 8-1 and 6-5. It was a walk-off single in the bottom of the 7th inning of the second game that gave Ottawa the win. They're going to play 2 more games today. In fact, they're going to be morning games in Ottawa. I think they were 9 and 11. 9 and 11 down there in Ottawa for Hastings College baseball. And we've got the semifinals of the Central Conference basketball tournament tonight out at AC. We'll see some good basketball without a local flavor. Patriots were beaten the other night in the quarters. So you've got York playing Crete in the first game, followed by Northwest and Seward in the second game. The boys will go tomorrow. And then the Centennial Conference basketball tournament continues tonight. Semifinals, St. Cecilia going to play at top-seeded Lincoln Christian. Bishop Newman is at SCOTUS. So that's what's going on in high school basketball tonight.
I think we've covered all the bases.
What's on the tube tonight? Anything good? I got a meeting. Tonight. I was supposed to have basketball tonight, but since Adams Central's not playing,
there you go. So,
I don't have basketball, and then I got drug into a meeting tonight. Just what I wanted to do.
Sounds awful. Your tube consists of Europa League soccer, which begins at 2 p.m. today. It's deadline day to try to get into the round of 16. And then we have got top 25 basketball tonight at 7:30. I think your watch is FS1. Nebraska trying to get rid of that 6-game schneid and put one in the win column at PBA. So 7:30 FS1. Nebraska taking on the Fighting Illini.
Oh, I'll watch that tonight.
Yeah, I'm working tonight, but
like I said, I got a sneaky feeling Nebraska is going to pull off an upset tonight.
Just because I gave you the spread?
Well, I like that spread at 4.
Good spread.
I bet Nebraska wins tonight. Mark my word.
Go Big Red.
Mark my word.
I'm kind of tired of hearing sad Hoiberg. Like, I want happy Hoiberg sound bites in my morning.
Well, he's been dejected for a 6-game losing streak. That's a long time.
That is a rut. That's a rut. And you're going to sound sad.
Well, we were in the dance last year, and we had high hopes. We were sitting at 12-2, and all of a sudden,
got to right the ship.
We can't throw the ball in the ocean.
The strength of any team, isn't how good you are or what your record is. It's how you handle adversity.
Well, he talked about our defense being dirty and gritty and stuff like that. Now we're the pretty boy defense.
Got to get back to being physical.
We're the pretty boy defense.
Got to get back to hunting. You got to hunt. You got to want.
Don't want to guard anybody.
Can't be looking at the big picture, and I'm all with him. Put one name up on the board and focus on that one name all week.
Problem is we got Illinois tonight at home, then we're on the road for a while. And you know what we've been doing on the road this year? Nothing. Yeah, nothing. So we got to get one tonight.
Let's go get dubbed.
All right, we're going to hear from John Cook coming up at a news conference in Lincoln today. So we'll probably have a dive into that a little bit more tomorrow. But John Cook is out. Danny Busboom Kelly is in. She will not be on hand today. Her formal news conference, I see, is set just after the first of the month here. I think February 6th I saw this morning. So that's what's going on. So a big day in sports. Hope you enjoyed our little get-together here this morning. Tell your friends about us. We'd love to have more folks join us here on Extreme Sports each and every weekday morning from 7 until 8. You can listen to a complete replay of the show on our social media sites. Just go to our podcast section. You can grab it if you got Roku TV. Tons of people have downloaded our app on Roku TV just in the past 2 weeks. So if you got Roku TV, there's a section there where you can get a replay of the show each and every day. So you can do that. Anything else we need to bring up before we get out of here?
All my bases are checked. All my boxes are crossed. So
we'll hitch up the horses and we'll get out of here, huh?
That sounds like a good plan.
We'll do it again tomorrow morning at 7 here on Extreme Sports. Thanks for joining us. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.
Today, we